Now I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again, and I'm probably gonna say it a few more times throughout the lifespan of this channel, so get used to it. The Mai Tai is a great vessel for showcasing rum, and I'm not talking just about a single rum, I'm talking about a blend of rums as well. And in fact, Vic himself used to blend rums. When the 17 and 15-year-old Ray and nephews ran out, he actually started blending rums, and so we continue that tradition today. And today we're gonna be taking a look at Kevin Crossman's Ultimate Mai Tai. So let's see what we're gonna need to build this cocktail. First, we're gonna need an overproof Demerara rum, an aged Jamaican rum, another aged Jamaican rum, one more aged Jamaican rum, orange liqueur, Orgeat, Demerara syrup, and lime juice. The overproof Demerara rum that I'm using is Plantation OFTD. The 3 aged Jamaican rums I'm using are Smith & Cross, Appleton 12-year, and Plantation Xaymaca. The orange Curaçao is Pierre Ferrand's Dry Curaçao. The Orgeat and Demerara syrup are homemade, and the lime juice is fresh squeezed. Now this is more bottles than I typically have on the show, but that's because we need a specific blend of rums to do this Mai Tai. So give me a second while I rearrange this because it's gonna be tight. I think I arranged that pretty decently considering how many bottles are on here. And yes, this is a channel called Easy Tiki Drinks, and I typically try to keep things to about 6 ingredients. Technically, this still only has 6 ingredients, if you count all the rums as 1, or even just 2. The thing is, Kevin specifically calls for these 4 specific rums. Not just any overproof Demerara rum, but Plantation OFTD. And not any aged Jamaican rums, but these ones specifically. So I wanted to try and stay as true to his cocktail as possible. We're also gonna make a few adjustments from your typical 1944 recipe, and you'll see that in a minute. But regardless, I'm sticking to Kevin's recipe as is, as he writes it, as he wants it drank, so we can get the best experience possible. So let's build this, and while we sip on it, we'll talk a little bit more about Kevin's choices, the Mai Tai, and how it tastes. First, we're gonna need an ounce of lime juice. Quarter ounce of our Demerara syrup. Half an ounce of our Orgeat. Half an ounce of our orange liqueur. Now a typical Mai Tai calls for 2 ounces of rum. We're gonna stay to that. We are gonna use 2 ounces of rum. We have 4 bottles, that means we're gonna use a ½ ounce of each. So let's start with our aged Jamaicans. We're gonna start with a ½ ounce of our Plantation Xaymaca. By the way, I call this Plantation Xaymaca. I've also heard it called Plantation Xaymaca. I honestly have no idea how you should properly pronounce this. So if anybody knows, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear the phonetic pronunciation of this plantation rum. ½ ounce of our Plantation Xaymaca. ½ ounce of our Appleton 12. I have to apologize. Every single time I pull a cork, I make the funniest face. So let me try that again with a smile on my face. There we go, much better. half an ounce of our Smith & Cross. And half an ounce of our Plantation OFTD. Next up, we're gonna add some ice to our shaker. I'm gonna give it a nice little whack and give it a nice little whip shake for about 5 to 8 seconds. Just gonna grab our double rocks glass. Open pour into our glassware. Add a little bit more crushed ice. In typical Mai Tai fashion, we're gonna garnish with a mint sprig. Make sure to always give it a nice little whack. Place it right there in the back. And as Spike from Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour says, you can never skimp on the mint. So the more mint, the merrier. Also a spent lime shell. Now I've said this before, the spent lime shell was placed in front of the mint to make it look like an island with palm trees. How fitting. And don't forget your straw. And there you have it, Kevin Crossman's ultimate Mai Tai. Let's give it a try. So, when Kevin was designing this Mai Tai, he specifically said that he wanted to stay as true as possible to the roots and the atmosphere of the 17-year-old Ray Nephew did it as he could. Now I've showcased a few other Mai Tais. We've done the Beachbum Blend Mai Tai, and I'll leave a link right up here and down below. And that was a great Mai Tai. It was much like middle of the road, a great crowd pleaser. Come to find out, he actually doesn't use the same specs anymore in his recipes at Latitude 29. They're slightly different, but similar. I've also done the easiest Mai Tai with the Denizen Merchant Reserve. I'll leave a card here and a link in the comments below. That also was a nice middle of the road Mai Tai. They had nice smooth flavors, well-rounded, not too sharp, not too harsh in any way, shape, or form. Kevin's Mai Tai, it's a different beast. As I was mentioning, Kevin wanted to stay as true to the Jamaican rums as possible, so he tried to stick with Jamaican rums as much as he could. Now the Plantation OFTD does have Jamaican rum in it. It also has a blend of other rums, and this was to help make sure that he also brought in some of the other flavors that Vic used with his Mai Tai blends throughout the ages. So I guess the question bears, what do I think of this Mai Tai? I love this Mai Tai. I think the Ultimate Mai Tai blend is a wonderful combination of rums, and I think it makes for a mean Mai Tai. It is much more spirit forward than your Denizen or your Beachbum blend. That is a tongue twister. I will have to get used to that. It is much more spirit forward. It has a lot more funk to it than you're gonna find in the Denizen or the Beachbum blend. It is a little bit more darker and richer. It just adds a complexity because we're blending rum. I mean, we're using 4 different rums. Of course it's gonna add complexity. You look at the Beachbum, it's only 2. You look at the Denizen's 1. Now, granted, the Denizen is a blend in and of itself, but it's 1 rum. This Mai Tai uses a blend of 4 different rums. And I mean, one of those rums is even a blend in and of itself. So realistically, we're looking at like basically blending 7 rums out of 4 bottles. Of course this thing's gonna be complex and have a lot of diversity and depth to it. And it makes a mean Mai Tai. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I did. I know that I enjoyed this Mai Tai a lot, and I hope you go home and make it as well. Now, for those of you asking, can I sub out rums? You absolutely can. However, I will tell you it will not be the same. But if you've got other aged Jamaican rums that you want to sub out, like a Hampton or a Worthy Park, by all means, please go for it. If you want to try a Hamilton 151 or a Lemon Heart 151 in place of the OFTD, go for it. Give it a shot. See if you like it. That's kind of the fun of this. At the end of the day, you get to pick and choose what you like. I'm just here to give you examples and suggestions. Well, anyway, I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to give me a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe. The more you guys subscribe, the more this channel grows. The more it grows, the more videos I make. It's that simple. Make sure to give me a follow over on TikTok and Instagram at Easy Tiki Drinks. And I post a lot of polls on Instagram. So if you want to shape what I do next and kind of tell me what to do because I want to know what you guys want to see, please give me a like on over there. Other than that, I really hope you enjoyed your Mai Tai Monday or whenever you're watching this. And until next time, take it easy.